We are done with this thing. We spoke about the very fact that Truman's doctrine will find itself against Marshall Plan will find itself against. Right, so let us move. And the consequences of the Marshall Plan. Says by September 1947, 16 European countries had applied for Marshall aid, which included the following countries, the countries that are listed here. And these two in particular that we once spoke about. Says these 16 countries set up the Organization for European Economic Cooperation, which is known as the OEEC, to put up the Marshall Plan into action. Therefore says under the Marshall Plan, the US Congress approved spending $12 billion to help rebuild Europe. Now ask yourself one thing, why is America so much to put for that thing? Why would you spend $12 billion when you know you are not going to get anything in return? Because at the end of the day, those countries will owe you everything they have. You know when someone says your life and you're like, I owe you my life. That basically means anything and anytime you need me, because now my life goes with you. I need to come to your rescue. So in this instance, that's one thing that is happening here. Right? Continues to say, under the Marshall Plan, US Congress approved spending $12 billion to help rebuild Europe. By 1953, the USA had provided $17 billion to help these countries rebuild their economies. And the plan was a success both economically and politically. Malnutrition disappeared in countries involved. Industrial output increased by 1950. Western Europe was flourishing, and communist parties had weakened. Tension increased between East and West, thus intensifying the Cold War. In 1949, the Molotov Plan was introduced to offer financial assistance to ailing Eastern European countries. So the Molotov Plan is then which we refer to as the Comecon. So that side they are saying the Marshall Plan, this side they are calling it the Molotov Plan. But if you don't want to call it the Molotov Plan, you refer to it as Comecon. And then let us now look at this thing in particular. We are moving, everything is done. I will be late with 6 minutes to the next period. After the Second World War, the Allies collectively agreed to divide Germany into 4 sectors. We also spoke about this. These are the 4 sectors that we are talking about. And this one is under the USSR, the rest are going to be combined, right? Fast forward, Berlin, the capital of Germany, was also divided into the East and West sectors. West Berlin was situated in the Russian sector and was controlled collectively by Western allies. Eastern Berlin was controlled by the USSR. In an attempt to improve economic growth in the western zones of Germany in 1948, the Western powers introduced a new currency known as the Deutschmark. This is something that we also spoke about. That this one's currency, if they are going to introduce the Deutschmark, this side the Reichsmark will not be of any use because you cannot trade in the same place or buy these things and still have the same value. So money this side will have value and this side will have no value, which is where it ties to the introduction of these new currencies. The Western powers introduced a new currency, the Deutschmark. Don't worry, I'll send you this thing. I'll send it, I have it. Introduced a new currency, the Deutschmark, which replaced the worthless Reichsmark. The improvement of the economy in West Germany. When you speak of West Germany, it is the place that is outside of Berlin. How did you get Ivo? Yes. This is West Berlin, West Germany. These zones, the British, American, and French, this is West Germany. West Germany. Berlin, West Berlin is where you are talking of the western part of Berlin. That is ran and ruled by these three collectives. So the red zone is East Germany. I repeat, the red zone is East Germany. The orange, blue, and green is West Germany. Berlin, which is a white city, will also be divided into 4. And we are going to have the West and the East. Right, yes, sir.
So Germany was divided depending on who did the most in the war?
Not necessarily so. It was expected to be in that manner, but Stalin failed to actually achieve that. Because he said, listen, niggas, I did more, so I deserve to get more. And they were like, no, you can't get more because we are all actively involved. So it's not based on size. Don't think it because France treated Zaganan. It's because these two people were the ones that were pushing each other. To say, no, we cannot allow Stalin to take. Germany was supposed to be controlled by Stalin according to him. And Berlin was supposed to be under the satellite state of USSR, which is Germany in its entirety. But they were like, no, we'll divide it into 4. And it was like, okay, sharp, we've divided Germany into 4. Give me Berlin then. They were like, give me Berlin, and we told you, we are going to divide it into 4. That's what he wanted. He could have hoped because he said, I lost a lot of people. I lost more than anyone in here. So I deserve to get more, but they were like, no, that's not happening, right? And then it says, the improvement of the economy in the West Germany and West Berlin alarmed the communists in the eastern sector, in both sectors, East Berlin and East Germany. Because this side was not developed in the same rate as this one, right? So it continues to say, USSR responded to the currency reform in West Berlin by imposing a blockade of all roads and canal links between West Germany and West Berlin, which means this is where in now is going to divide the state. This one. And then in this instance, it's therefore going to be a thing that says USSR responded to currency reform in West Berlin by imposing a blockade of all roads and canals between West Germany and West Berlin. The intention was to cut essential supplies to eventually force West Germany to give the communist control communist control. More than 2.5 million people were affected by this blockade. This was a turning point in the Cold War and was a test to gauge whether the Allies would protect West Berlin. And the Western powers, we know which they reacted with. A Berlin heading. In order for them to avoid the fight, they say we are not going to try using roads, instead we are going to use airplanes. They are therefore going to supply, and they are going to come from here. The planes will leave from either one of these zones to the western part of, and that's why now we are going to talk about it. Berlin airlift. Are we together? All achieve. Are we together? Yes. Right, and then what else? This is the consequence of the Berlin blockade. I think these ones are very simple. Everything else, any questions? Are there any questions? The only thing that we are missing is tasks.